What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. At this point, in most people's eyes, LeBron James has to take all the blame for this. Everything that's happened with the Lakers, really, when you think about the Lakers organization, LeBron is the head of the snake. He's the one that is basically running the organization. He's the one that has a hand in or a say-so of any type of moves that has been made in the last couple of years, or any type of moves that they make going forward, simply because he's the superstar player of the team and the most popular player on the team. And a lot of people may look at him as like a general manager for a team simply because, LeBron is LeBron. Anytime a trade is made on a team that he's made, a team that he's playing for, he definitely has a say-so in it. And as he should, because he's definitely earned that right. He's definitely played long enough in this league. He's definitely won a lot. He's definitely a champion, definitely a winner type player. So you got to give him that credit. And I'm not saying all this is LeBron's fault, because, you can pass blame around to every single player, every single person in that organization. Some of it's Russ's fault, some of it's LeBron, some AD, some Frank Vogel, some the front office, some of it's the role players. Throughout the entirety of the organization, everybody has to take blame. But in a situation where the superstar gets all the credit when they win, you got to sit there and give blame when the operation doesn't go well to the main player, which is the superstar on the team, which is the number one guy in LeBron James. Of course, I can say Anthony Davis should have stayed healthy, but he never has throughout his career. Of course, I could sit here and say Russell Westbrook should have played better, but honestly, he's never really played that much better throughout his career. I mean, he's played good enough for stats, but he's never played better as in like helping a team win a championship. So he's never been that type of player. So I can't ask him to do something that he really isn't used to doing, and something that he primarily just shows that he's not good at. So, which is winning. So you got to take it from there, and you got to actually look at that from a positive standpoint of you got what you got out of those players, and hey, the season's over with. Go into the next season with more positivity, or make some trades. And that's pretty much where what they have to do. And they have to start cleaning house, which I think that's what they will do at some point in this off season, especially with their season technically just being over now. Even though it's like 1 or 2 games left in the season, their season's over because they got eliminated the other day by losing and the Spurs winning. So that pretty much says enough about their season right there. But I can definitely understand the reason why a lot of people might put the onus on LeBron James, because like I said, as a superstar player, you got to take the rap for both. You got to take the rap and the blunt of everything when things work out, plus when they don't work out. You just have to do that. That's what a superstar is required to do. And LeBron James, in this facet of his career, he's not the player he once was. But at the same time, if you're going to put up the great numbers that he put up this year and lead the league in scoring, which I think he's going for the scoring title, which I think he might actually win it. If you can win the scoring title, you should be good enough to help your team win some games. And I can tell you, with the play-in tournament, now that's being added to the playoffs and everything, that really helps a lot of teams out, because when have we ever seen a 10th seed have an opportunity to make the playoffs? That's never really happened unless, the 10th seed is like a game behind or something like that from the 8th seed or something, and they're trailing each other. And sometimes the 10th seed will find its way in, the 8th seed just blows up and, doesn't do what they're supposed to do. But now there's a play-in tournament created over the last couple of years where the 9th and 10th seed have an opportunity to actually make a tournament where they can actually get into the playoffs. If they get out the tournament, that's really actually a good thing. Matter of fact, just making the tournament is a good thing, especially if you're one of those lower seeded teams like 9th or 10th, and years prior there was no chance of you making the playoffs. Now you have a chance. But with that being said, that really hurts LeBron James' case, because you're going for the scoring title and possibly going to win it, and you're putting up all these points and your team was not even winning. And that says very little about LeBron James, because even though at this stage of his career he's a lot older, he's not showing age on the offensive end. On the offensive end of the floor, he's not showing his age. On the defensive end, he's showing his age because he just doesn't go out there and guard the way he used to, because he just doesn't have the energy to do so. And I definitely understand that. But my point is, if you could lead the league in scoring with close to 30 points a game, then some of those games should have equated to winning, which where the Lakers should be, in the play-in tournament, but they're not. And then, you got to look at it from a standpoint of, how quickly this season went left for the Lakers and how much blame LeBron should take for that. He should take a lot of that because he was the one who wanted Russell Westbrook. And I can tell you now, them getting Buddy Hield over Russell Westbrook would have been a hell of a lot different, only because Buddy Hield is more of a shooter, and that's who they were going after until LeBron really gave them the notion to go after Westbrook, and they went and got him because that's what LeBron wanted. And I feel like, LeBron had a good thought process in regards to, if I can win a championship with somebody like Russ, who doesn't play, with high basketball IQ intentions every time he's on the floor. If I can win a championship with somebody like him, taking him from somewhere when everybody in the world thinks Russ is just all about statting pats. If I can win a championship with him, that's definitely going to make my GOAT case, greatest all time case, look better than ever. And rightfully so. I'll give LeBron that. His GOAT case will look a whole lot better winning a championship with somebody like Russell Westbrook, because no other superstar player has been able to do that. So, it definitely would have done some justice to LeBron James, career even more. But now the opposite have happened. Now with Russell Westbrook, you choosing him, you couldn't even make the play-in tournament having a player like that. So to me, LeBron has to take a lot of the blame because, when you look at that in its own, and when you look at that in its entirety, that's a catastrophe. You can't have 3 top 75 players on a team and don't make the play-in tournament. And in some people's eyes, they really have 4 top 75 players. Dwight Howard could have been a top 75 players and player in some people's eyes, so they really could have had 4. But that's my point. You can't have 3 or 4, whatever, top 75 players and don't make a play-in tournament as a 10th seed. It's just very, very unlikely to happen with that much star power. And I know the Lakers have defensive issues and all those things I've talked about in prior videos, but with that type of roster, you've got to find a way to at least be the 10th seed. It's just really no other way to look at it. With all that firepower you have on that team and all that wisdom and knowledge and experience and all the stuff that the Lakers talked about in the beginning of the season, Carmelo saying we got wisdom, experience, and LeBron saying earlier in the season, well, laugh now, but we'll have the last laugh and all this other crap. Who has the last laugh now? It's definitely not the Lakers, because they're on the outside looking in while everybody else is celebrating in the play-in tournament or the playoffs, trying to gear up for another run to possibly win a championship, when you're sitting on the outside looking in, not even worried about a championship because you don't even have a way to even accomplish that because you're not even in the tournament or the playoffs to begin. So it's really, really a bad situation for the Lakers. But as I said before, I'm not going to put all the blame on LeBron, but most of it definitely needs to go his way because he controls the outcome of what moves they make or what moves they don't make as an organization. And the outcome he chose wasn't a good one, because Russell Westbrook is not a player that's going to help you win a championship. His game just doesn't mimic that. He plays reckless, out of control, and he's always played that way. He just played a little bit more seemingly in control back then because he was quicker off the first step, off that bounce, and he would, jump in the air and dunk on people and, make SportsCenter and all those things and have great highlights. But the reason why Kevin Durant left him to go to Golden State, because he couldn't win with Russell Westbrook. He said that. And you know something? Every other superstar, whoever else he's played with, has had the same, thought process probably. You just can't win with Russell Westbrook. You like him as a player. You like him as a person probably. But liking somebody as a person and winning with him is 2 different things. And LeBron had to figure that out this year on his own, which is the reason why they were trying to trade Russell Westbrook at the trade deadline, just wasn't able to get a deal to go through. So, it's a lot that's going into the situation right now. And it's really a catastrophe for the Lakers, not even making the play-in tournament and trying to figure out what their next thrill is going forward, which has to be to either clean house or, make some trades, whatever they need to do to make the team better. Because right now, if they come back with this team next year, even if they come back with this team next year with a different coach, I'm not sure how much different it's going to be. Right now, like I said, I'm hearing things about Doc Rivers, and then on their staff, they got David Fizdale. They really like him a lot. lot, things like that. He seems like a good voice type guy. Maybe his voice can get through to the players a little bit better than Frankie V's could. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much better it can get through, because Frankie V did win a championship with the Lakers just a couple seasons ago, but they did have better pieces that I thought that fit. So, that makes a lot of a difference. See, when you have pieces on a team where it's all Hollywood cast and no role players, seem like, it makes it more difficult, because now you got more egos in the locker room rather than more guys who's willing to listen and take the time to understand the system, rather than, having a bunch of guys who think they know the system. And that's pretty much what you have with Westbrooks and players like that. He just feel like he's above everything, the system and all. That's the reason why Russell Westbrook doesn't really pan out nowhere where he goes. And then, LeBron James is going to be LeBron. Anthony Davis is not there half the time. So it's like, the chemistry and everything never really got a chance to build. And I don't really feel like if they run it back with this team next year, it's going to be much different. No matter who the coach is or anything like that, they just need to make some trades in their actual roster and find some pieces that really fit LeBron and fit, what they're trying to do. Because I thought that year when they won the championship, they had more shooters. They had guys who played defense harder, and guys who were willing to, play defense, even though they weren't defensive guys. They had guys on there who will go out there and at least try on defense. This team just doesn't give the effort. They don't have the chemistry, and you can't teach effort. You really can't. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at this team in its entirety, it's a bust. It's a bust season. It's a bust team, and LeBron James really had a bust season overall, because like I said, Lakers season is all about winning championships or nothing else. And really it all came down to, just, bad basketball play, and bad going to worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the way it trickled down for the Lakers, and they really can't blame nobody but themselves. But if somebody had to take most of the blame, I definitely got to go with LeBron James, because like I said, you made a decision for Russ, and I know LA likes superstars, but you and Anthony Davis is all the superstar that the Lakers need. They don't really need a third superstar. And then on top of that, there was a situation where they could have got DeMar DeRozan and they didn't get him. Just everything going wrong with this team this season, even though they were the team projected to go to the finals and possibly win it. Definitely not in the sights of their, in their future right now. But at the same time, like I said, they're still, the Los Angeles Lakers. They're still going to make a lot of headlines. And even though the season didn't turn out how they wanted to, it's always next year, and it's always trades to be made, and it's always deals to be made. So we'll see what the Lakers do. But this is definitely the worst Lakers team I've ever seen with my own two eyes. To have all this talent, don't even at least make the playoffs. Something's wrong with that picture. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.